When a king has 19 sons and is approaching the end of his life, one question becomes the talk of the kingdom. Who is going to be the next king? If they had broadcasting technology, the radio waves would be filled with the experts trying to answer that question. Listeners would align with their person of choice. It would be a period of pure pandemonium. But unlike an election, all the listeners could do was wait. They couldn't cast their vote. They didn't have one. But one of King David's sons, Adonijah, didn't want to wait for his father's decision. In his mind, he could get out in front of this decision and simply begin exalting himself. After all, confidence speaks. Maybe he could convince the nation of Israel that he was the next king, even though his father never announced his decision. The problem is, you can't properly exalt yourself and be discreet at the same time. Adonijah developed a following, and his father never discouraged him from doing what he was doing. But this didn't last long. The prophet Nathan met with Bathsheba, David's wife and Solomon's mother, and advised her to talk to David and inform him that Solomon should be made king. Bathsheba did as she was advised, and Nathan joined her and talked to David about what Adonijah had been doing. David vows to have Solomon be installed as the next king and orders that he be anointed as such. After being made king, Solomon went to Gideon to sacrifice to the Lord and worship him. When he fell asleep, God appeared to him in a dream and told him, "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." 1 Kings 3:5. Yeah, be jealous, right? Can you imagine God appearing to you in a dream and saying that he would give you whatever you want? What would you have asked for? Solomon, with the full weight of being king over God's people, asked the Lord for a receptive heart to judge your people and to discern between good and evil. 1 Kings 3:9b. And you know what happened? Not only did God give Solomon what he asked for, but God also gave him riches and honor. Why? Because he didn't ask for those things and instead asked for wisdom. Because of this, Solomon developed a reputation of the wisest man alive. One of the major accomplishments of Solomon's life was building the temple, a dream of his father David. Additionally, he rebuilt existing cities and built new cities. Israel was prospering like it never had before. Solomon was also an accomplished politician and had many dealings with foreign nations that brought great wealth to the nation of Israel. He was a diplomatic genius and was unmatched in wisdom and wealth. Under Solomon, the nation of Israel was a wealthy power in the world. In addition to reigning and ruling, Solomon took after his father and was a writer. God used Solomon to write the book of Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. The wisdom you will find in those books is God-breathed and will give you direction for your life today. But what made Solomon so great opened the door to his demise. He was always engaging in foreign policy and negotiations. But Solomon's foreign policy wasn't all business. It was pleasure too. When it was all said and done, Solomon had 700 wives. Yes, you read that correctly. You heard that correctly. And 300 concubines. Think friends with benefits without much friending going on. These women eventually turned his heart away from God. Most of them were from foreign lands and worshipped idols. So in the end, Solomon didn't remain faithful to God and displeased him because of his polygamy and abandonment. Toward the end of Solomon's life, he had built monuments to the gods of his wives and all throughout the land of Israel. And God judged him for all that he had done by splitting the kingdom of Israel into two. Solomon had it all, but in the end, he had nothing. Why? Because he didn't follow his own advice. He didn't follow the wisdom of God. He went his own way and lost it all. Solomon's life should be a reminder for us that we live this life once. Every step counts. Every decision counts. And the people we step through this life alongside of matters. Solomon surrounded himself with a cocoon of destruction, and he paid for it in the end. God gives us direction for a reason. He wants us to flourish. He knows where destruction lies, and he knows that we are often drawn to it. So if you want to avoid the demise of Solomon, a few things are in order. Have one spouse, no concubines, and surround yourself with people who will drive you toward God, not away. But even more than that, give all of yourself to God. Don't hold anything back. Give him your mind, your heart, your wealth, your body, and your sin. Let him open his arms and hold you together. He won't fail you. As Solomon once said himself, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline. Proverbs 1:7. If you get the first thing wrong, everything else gets out of alignment.